Okay, I guess this is a thing I'm doing every day right now. Let's talk about the latest update in the Republicans' attempt to cheat in the 2026 midterms by gerrymandering the shit out of Texas. Yesterday, we saw Texas House Democrats do something that the American people had been begging Democrats to do, not like since January, but for all of Biden's term as well, which is stand up, fight back. Get a goddamn spine and fight these motherfuckers on their level. So when Donald Trump told Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas House Republicans, find me 5 more seats. Oh, doesn't that sound like find me 11,000 votes in Georgia? Greg Abbott and Texas House Republicans said, yes, Daddy Donald, we'll do whatever you want. And so they drew up the most ridiculously gerrymandered map of Texas in a year where they should not be redistricting at all in order to magically make 5 seats switch from Democrat to Republican and disenfranchise millions of Black and brown Texas voters. And the Democrats were like, no, motherfucker, we're going to look at the rules. Oh, we need 100 members in the House to make quorum. Cool, we're all going to leave the state. And we saw Texas House Democrats decamp to Illinois, to Michigan, to Oklahoma, and to New York. And, Democrats have a long history of not being particularly strong-willed and rolling over relatively quickly when Republicans bully and intimidate. So I think Republicans were caught a little bit off guard by this power move. So, of course, because the Republicans cannot win through legitimate means, they can only win if they disenfranchise voters, if they suppress the Black and brown vote. The only way they can win is by cheating. There is no such thing as a red state. Texas should not be a red state. It is only a red state because of gerrymandering. An active voter suppression, if the will of the people is heard, if everybody is allowed to cast their vote and have representation in a representative democracy, so many of these red states would be purple states or even blue states. But because they're cheating cheaters and authoritarians cannot hold on to power through legitimate means, they rely on cheating and they rely on threats and intimidation. Today, we saw 3 Republicans try to pull some real bullshit. So yesterday, we saw Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas House Republicans sell whatever tiny shreds of soul they had left and issue warrants for Texas House Democrats. Now, as I said in my video about it yesterday, those aren't real warrants. They don't work outside of Texas, and they're not worth the paper that they're written on. So as I said in my video yesterday, these warrants don't actually have any threat of criminal prosecution behind them, and they can't actually compel the Texas Democrats to return to the state. The most that Abbott can do is put $500 a day fines on each of them. And they've been saving for this very occasion. So they're like, cool, go ahead, charge us. We're not going to sell out our constituents and democracy to come back and let you break the law and gerrymander Texas and cheat and try and rig the midterms. As I've said continuously, from the moment the Delu Blues were talking about Starlink zapping the votes and having all of their voter conspiracy theories, there are so many legitimate ways that the Republicans cheat in every election through gerrymandering and voter suppression, through dumping people off the voter rolls. I mean, we could just go through the list. There are tried and true tactics that the Republicans use. We don't have to have conspiracy theories. We don't have to make up fantasies about lasers zapping ballots and election machines. We already know the ways that Republicans cheat. They've been doing it for a long time, and Democrats have not been stopping them. And the courts have been stopping them a little bit, but not well enough. So today, because Abbott's attempted intimidation yesterday with these warrants resulted in the Democrats basically being like, suck it, we're not coming back. In fact, I really love it. Hang on, I gotta play a clip for you. Hang on.
A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit, okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York. So he gonna come get us how?
Yes, Representative Jones, this is the energy that we all need to be bringing to the party right now. And I'm so pleased to see Texas Democrats are showing up the way that we need every Democrat in this country to be showing up for democracy. So because those threats and intimidation didn't work, because as Rep. Jones said, the smoke and mirrors didn't work, today Greg Abbott escalated. Because what else can he do? Republicans cannot win through legitimate means. They've got to cheat. They know that they are fucked in the midterms. And so they're desperately trying to hold on to power Authoritarians always have a very weak hold on power, but they will fucking dig in and try to hold on to it for as long as they can. They will escalate their threats and intimidation because they're desperate for people who support democracy and the rule of law to give up. They are trying to scare and threaten because that's all they've got. They don't have a legitimate grasp on power. So today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott asked the Supreme Court to expel the House Democratic leader who left the state. He's threatening to ask the court to vacate all of the seats for all of the Democratic members of the House who left the state. He's just going to say, like, no. We don't need a representative democracy. We're going to betray millions of Texas constituents, deny them their representation. I will just decide to exercise executive power, and I'm going to try and get conservative judges to empower me to do it, because we've seen how well that's worked for Donald Trump and the Supreme Court that he stacked, right? So Greg Abbott's like, I'm going to try some of this. I'm going to try and vacate the will of the people. I'm going to try and subvert the will of the people. Now, keep in mind, this may sound really scary, but Texas Democrats have their heads on straight and they know, and several legal experts today have commented, there's no legal basis for this. Nothing in the Texas Constitution says that the members of the House leaving the state for something like this would constitute abandoning their office. There is no legal foundation for Abbott to try this, but he's desperate. He and Donald Trump are fucking desperate because they know if they don't cheat, they cannot hold on to power. Like, I wish everybody could understand how terribly, terribly desperate they are. They're going to go balls to the wall because if they don't, they can't hold on to power. This is not a sign of strength from the fascists. This is not a sign of strength from the fascist Republican Party that is currently in control in Texas and in the United States Congress and in the White House. It's not a show of strength, y'all. It's a clear sign of desperation. And it's not coming just from Texas. We are seeing on the federal level as well. So now today, United States Senator John Cornyn from Texas, who is a Republican, and by the way, Texas, he is up for re-election in 2026. So no wonder he did this today. He asked for the FBI to assist Greg Abbott in tracking down and arresting lawmakers who left the state. There is no legal justification nor mechanism for this, but he's going to try it anyway. In a statement that can be called nothing less than sheer projection, Cornyn said, "In a representative democracy, we resolve our differences by debating and voting, not by running away." John, my dude, you are trying to deprive millions of Texans of a representative democracy. You are trying to deprive the American people of free and fair elections. And you said that? Cornyn went on to make ludicrous claims that the Texas Democrats may have committed crimes and that a lot of people are demanding that they come back as justification for trying to get federal law enforcement to break the law and essentially go kidnap Texas Democrats and haul them back to Texas. But he has the gall to lecture Democrats about a representative democracy. And then, much like how Donald Trump pinned all of his electoral cheating hopes on finding 11,000 votes in Georgia in 2020, he has got to gerrymander these 5 seats, or he knows Republicans are out in the midterms. So he's going to keep trying with this. He's not going to give it up. He's like a dog with a bone. He said today that the FBI may have to help bring back Texas Democrats. He said, it's a time-sensitive matter. No shit, buddy, because this special session is going to run out, and Texas Democrats are planning on running out the clock so that you can't gerrymander the 2026 congressional midterms and try to hold on to power through illegitimate means. I get there's a clock running and you are real nervous about it. Also, just want to add here at the end, the FBI has declined to comment on this situation. Hopefully there's somebody left in the FBI who is willing to stand up for the rule of law. Anybody? Any of y'all? Now would be a good time. Oh, I also want to make another comment here. There is now a Texas beef boycott where you are encouraged to call the governor's office and also Republicans in the Texas House and also beef producers in Texas and let them know you will not be buying Texas beef as long as Republicans are trying to gerrymander the state. So think about that. Boycotts have to have clear demands and they have to have follow through. So it's more than just deciding not to buy Texas beef. You got to let them know. Anyway, I guess that's all for today's update. We'll see what happens tomorrow.